Welcome back to the Evolve podcast. I'm Rhiannon.
And I'm your better host, Brendan.
All right, we'll leave it at that. But for now, pretty much what this podcast is all about is self-development, health and fitness, and our journey starting as brand new business owners.
Let's go. Make sure that you share this around because I'm telling you right now, this is the best podcast you've ever seen.
Enjoy, guys. Ciao.
Sit a little bit closer as well, just so we can
I've got a
pick
loud
up.
voice.
Yeah. No, utilize the bow. The louder, the better.
All right, let's go.
Let's get the ball
We are on.
rolling. We are on.
We're live.
Well, you're no stranger to a podcast.
Done a couple.
Done a couple. What's your podcast about? And what do you guys talk about in there?
Yeah, I've got the 7-Figure Sparky podcast, which is just predominantly for electrical business owners looking to scale up to the 7 figures and beyond.
Yeah.
And just leveling up their business.
What's one belief about sales and business that turned out to be completely wrong?
Oh, that's a good question. Look, I think a sales belief that turned out to be wrong would be if you charge more, you'll have less customers.
Yeah.
And they won't come back. I think that's a massive, massive belief in all industries. If you look at Louis Vuitton, look at Dior, look at all of them.
The big ones.
Yeah, all the big guys. They've got lines and lines of people outside of their stores, right? A lot of repeat. Everyone, you guys have got, I'm sure you guys probably have missuses as well. That, they want a wallet.
They save up for months to get those wallets and bags, you know what I mean?
That's it. And that's all that's on their mind. And that's repeat. And the reason why it's the belief is because a cheap customer, you've got relational customers and you've got transactional. So transactional customers just looking for the cheapest fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a big, I love that question because it's a big misconception, right? So that cheap customer, as soon as they find someone cheaper, they're going to replace you. That's what it is, right? But then that premium customer that's a bit more qualified, they're going to keep wanting your service, whatever the industry is. Obviously, me, I'm very big on electrical in the electrical industry as a Sparky.
Yeah.
But that premium customer doesn't want us just for our price. They want us for our service. And that's what it's about. Win on service, not on price.
Yes. So win on providing a better service rather than caring about lowering the price to beat the market. Anyway.
There's always going to be someone cheaper, right?
Yeah.
Always.
A new Sparky comes in the door, they're half cutting you straight away.
That's why it's so important. And we train this in our program. You got to close them on the spot. You know what I mean? It's super. It sounds a bit weird. I know, especially if your audience is a bit of tradies, a bit of no matter what industry.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, guys. If you're in business, you need to make a profit, and you need to go to the homeowner's house and do. Even in sport, right? You do everything in sport to score a try, score a goal, whatever it might be, right? Get a new personal best. You do everything possible to reach that goal.
Yeah.
It's the same in any business. You got to do whatever's possible to then convert that customer into a paying customer. And it's equal service to equal transaction at the end of the day. Just because you made money doesn't mean they got the worst end of the deal. Everyone wins.
Exactly. 100%. And you're always looking for those win-win situations, right?
Has to be. If you don't have a win-win business, if it's not good for your customers, and it goes with both
You're
things.
not going to have repeat customers.
100%. And it goes both ways. You got to have your internal customers, which is your employees and your staff.
Yeah.
And it's got to be good for your external customers as well. So it's both. Everyone's got to win. Your internal customers, your external customers, and of course you as the director and the business owner have to win.
It really shows that you're dipping your toes in like 10,000 different buckets as a business owner. You're running two businesses at the moment, Sparky Business and a sales system for Sparkies.
Yep.
What's a brutal lesson that you've found while running two businesses that you would teach someone?
Yeah, a brutal lesson that I found. I think understanding your numbers is a massive one because I think a lot of people in all industries, they go, I feel this is expensive. I feel I can't charge that.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, it's a data-driven game at the end of the day. What do the numbers say? Do the numbers say is it below cost? Is it above cost? And it's pricing is not based off feeling. It's like I say, it's based off the math and numbers don't lie, right? So yeah, I'd say that is that.
And
I like it.
And how do you teach that to someone?
We've got charge out calculators because it's one thing me saying, you got to charge this, you got to do that and whatnot. But it's very important to see the numbers behind the business and actually have a proven process and show it. When you break it down, like I said, maths doesn't lie, and that's the only way people are going to see it. And just because the charge out calculator says, well, this is how much you have to charge to break even, doesn't mean you can't charge more. I don't mind saying that as well. And I've got an electrical business still, and my customers know I've got both businesses as well. They know I'm training other electricians as well to be better. And
To be better at sales as well.
everything. It's all aspects of business. So it's a business so I've got Olympic Electrical, which is my electrical business, which is 90% B2C. So straight mums and dads.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have a good marketing strategy. Good so good leads come in. Boys go there, provide options. Happy days, rinse and repeat. So that's in Sydney. And I was off the tools at 25.
Off the tools at 25.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was off the tools in my electrical business in 25, was pretty gun-ho. Went to America, got mentored. Then everyone was asking
in America.
Yeah,
That would have been crazy.
I love it. The Americans, I love them. I love them. They're a different breed, you know what I mean? And there was a seminar actually last week at the Sofitel in Sydney with the Americans because they're doing
there we go.
huge numbers there as well in the States, like doing like 100 mil in turnover in just mum and dad home service.
Really?
No way.
Is like not unheard of there. Like that's
crazy.
That's
though.
regular.
that's that's like quite common. Like here we've got the big dogs doing normally around 50 million, which is humongous as well.
That's big.
Not doing anywhere near
Well,
50
is
million.
that B2C?
B2C, correct.
No
Wow.
way.
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
Exactly. And that's
Like
why
it makes sense B2B, but
Yeah.
I never heard of it as B2C.
yeah, exactly right. And that's why I'm sharing light on that is what is possible.
Yeah.
There are companies in Australia right now doing that in B2C, just mums and dads, no tenders, no government work, no contracts, just straight good service, handshakes. Yep, sweet, let's do that, rinse and repeat. In America, there are companies that actually do believe it or not, even a
Bigger
billion,
scale.
even over $1 billion. So there's 6 companies
Oh, wow.
that I know of that do over $1 billion in B2C.
That's mental.
Yeah.
They're crazy numbers.
Massive, huge.
Did you get mentored by one of them?
Yeah. I've got a group. I've got mentors in Australia and in the States, and I still commit to 2 programs at least every year because forever humble, forever student, forever growing. Like that's
I like that.
Oh, I
That's-
like that one.
that's what it is. Like you got it. Like people that think they know it all. Like I think it's the male in us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always wants it to be better.
100%. And I think also the ego in us is like, nah, I know everything about
Yeah, yeah,
business and I'm the fastest on the racetrack. I'm the strongest at the gym.
Yeah.
But it's just like when you see like, well, you're doing good. You might be doing 1 or 2 million, but this guy's doing 10. What's he doing? All right.
Yeah.
And then this guy's doing 20. This guy's 50, 100 and whatever.
Yeah.
And depending on your risk threshold, not everyone wants to build a business like that. And I fully get that.
Yeah.
But I think having a business that runs without you is a beautiful thing. And that's what I encourage everyone to do.
Yeah.
And working with B2C, how have you created trust with those people from the beginning to where you are now?
Yeah. So you got to have a good rapport process, simple questions, open questions at the start. We've got a 6-step sales system, which we go through with our members.
6 steps.
Yeah. So, and it really is like, I don't know, I think you guys have done some programs and stuff as well. And the important thing is building that rapport process because if they don't like you, they don't trust you.
100%.
Let's be honest, they're not going to do business with you, no matter how cheap you are.
Yeah.
So building that rapport is super, super important. You can't go straight to the jugular. You got to earn the right to present the price.
Yes.
So,
Earn the right to present the part.
yeah.
Mate, you're spitting facts. I like that. It's good.
Yeah. So that's what we're very big on because, if you're not doing that and you just go, you're down like your switchboard, whatever it is, and whatever you're selling, could be plumbing stuff, right? Oh, this tap washer, this is no, well, you can't just go, yep, that's it. This is how much it is. You've got to educate them on what they're buying.
Yeah.
And then, there's a sequence of lead-in questions that gets the customer saying yes before you present the price.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
that's
is
cool.
it? Isn't there a rule in sales? You have to get 3 yeses
Yeah.
before you present the price. Is that what you follow?
Bang on, 100%. Yeah, and micro commitments as well. I'm very big on as well for objection handling. You know what I mean? So when there is like an object, and that's the thing. Don't take.
Like you said yes to this before. What happened?
Yeah. Why are you going back on it? Yeah. And that's why when you're doing that objection handling, having micro commitments to really come back, because a lot of the time, and again, it sounds weird sales, but sales just means you're better at communicating, right? At the end of the day, and a lot of the time when people are saying no after they have buyer's remorse or for whatever reason, it's because of fear, right?
Yes.
So we've got to overcome that fear and go back and downsell. Maybe let's not go with the whole package. Let's do this, right? And like I said, sales is just about being better at communicating and better at, winning more
Presenting
jobs.
that offer as well.
That's what it is, because if you're going
All you're doing is proving that whatever you're providing is going to help that person.
100%.
Yeah.
Sell the outcome. Like we said before, I think before the pod even, we're talking off camera, sell the outcome, not the product, So whatever it is, like what do they get out of it, you know? And it is so important to convert more jobs into sales. Otherwise, you're not making dosh. And it's very hard for the tradies because if they're going to jobs every day and getting told they're too expensive, you're not worth it. I've got someone cheaper. Let me check with that's brutal.
Yeah.
That's brutal. So what we say is 3 no's is your WAP, which is your walk away point. So, you know, don't go for the first no because that's just a smoke screen. Let's find out why. Like, because they've called us at the end of the day.
Yep.
They need work done.
Why? Inquiry.
Why aren't they proceeding? Like, let's be honest. Like,
if they made an inquiry, there's a reason for it. Find out what that reason is.
Is it money? Is it fear? Is it what's the objection? Like, let's find out and let's handle that on the spot, not over the phone. That's another thing. It has to be face to face in B2C.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, it's very, very important.
How do you reckon it has to be face to face for B2C?
It definitely helps. If you're doing, from my industry in the trades, if you're doing quotes over the phone, no, that's a big no. Yeah, it's got to be face to face, 100%. You got to go there.
You actually have to view the job. You have to see what's.
Got to sell a service. You can't sell you're selling a price over the phone, right?
Yeah.
Different in, like, you know, if you're selling courses and stuff like that, you know, people are busy, probably have an info pack, a VSL, something like that.
But that's more B2B, so it's a bit different.
It is, but it's still a B2C mindset.
Would you call it B2B?
I would call it B2B, but a lot of them have a B2C mindset.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So it's the sales objections and stuff. Like, if they've got a B2B mindset, mate.
Yeah.
It's easy.
It's so easy. It just makes sense.
You're like, yes, he's a B2B. Perfect.
Yeah. B2B mindset is very logical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
It makes sense. If it makes sense, let's give it a go. B2C is where a lot of the fear comes from and the uncertainty and that initial, can we pull the trigger? Like, if someone's got a business mindset and they're looking to get both access to our portal, our business coaching program, or the my electrical business,
they'll make it work.
They're like, yep, sweet, makes sense. That's what I want. That's what I want. And that's what I say: equal service, equal transaction. So if you're saying you're going to do something, do it.
Yeah,
that's what's unethical. If you don't back what you're saying you're going to do.
How do you break down that fear in someone? Like, how do you try and get a little bit more information out of them?
It depends on what the objection is. So if it depends, and again, it depends on what program, what business. But it's a lot of the time is we like to provide options, and we like to break down and get micro commitments. So, like, Mrs. Jones, is it within budget? That's a simple question. Like, that's not a scary sales tactic.
Mrs. Jones, I feel like you had a previous client.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a difficult question. Like, she can answer that, right? Like,
it just gives you a little bit more clearance in your mind. Like, okay, cool. This is the reason as to why.
100, and never break down your prices, because that's what tradies love to do. Because they go, well, we don't do hourly rate. Like, that's how you go broke, right? So it's got to be flat fees always. And a lot of people, they go hourly rate, and straight away they're attaching the hourly rate to how much they're going to get. The time, exactly. And
so they're basically trading time for money rather than the skill.
Correct. And the issue with that is Mrs. Jones thinks if you're charging $120 an hour or even less or more or whatever, they think that $120 is theirs, but it's not. That $120 an hour that a contractor might be charging is their marketing, their GST, their tax, their insurance, their registration, all of the above gets soaked up in that. And by the time you're probably left with like $40, you're probably better off on wages at $120 an hour. And I'll be straight. Like, in the trades, $120 an hour is well below cost. So if there's a tradie listening in, if you're charging 120, I know you think you're killing it right now, but you should be hitting upwards of 2.5K a day.
Wow.
In revenue. Yeah.
That's to cover all the costs.
We're very big on that, you know, charge upwards, make upwards of 2.5K per day per truck, nail it, scale it, then get off the tools. So per vehicle, that should be your revenue target if you're a Sparky.
You sound like you've obviously got a lot of knowledge behind you. Where did Olympic Electrical start? And becoming a Sparky, at what point did you realize that there was this market that wasn't tapped yet?
So basically, I started off pretty entrepreneurial, always did the apprenticeship in Sydney, of course. I grew up in Beecroft, which is other side to you guys. You guys are in the south. I'm in, I grew up in Beecroft, live in the east now. But basically, I was doing a lot of construction, and all my work was through builders and things like that. Then found
As
out
a Sparky, right?
as a Sparky, correct? As a business owner, as a Sparky business owner.
As a self-employed contractor.
Yeah. When we started in Olympic, yeah. So I did my apprenticeship and then got qualified. Then straight away.
Oh, you went straight away into business.
21 went into my business. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So Olympic was born. And then I was doing a lot of builders, and that's a lot of B2Bs, right? Builder, electrician to builder.
Yep.
And then found out builders don't like to pay all the time. There's always low margins, there's unpaid variations and just headaches. And I'm a decent dude. So I'm like, I'm a yes man. I'll do that. And then it got to a point where I had staff, and I was like, but now I'm paying my staff to do it, and I'm losing money. And I wasn't counting it myself because it was my sweat equity.
Yeah.
So I'd work till 8, 9 o'clock at night, and I wouldn't count because I'd be like, it's just business.
You were just you were just trading time for money at that point.
Correct. I wasn't counting my hours. I was just so excited to be working for myself. So I was like, let's go.
Yeah. Little pat on the back.
As soon as expenses started coming in with your employees, that's when you were like, oh shit, I'm actually not making that much money as I thought.
100%. I was like, and I got to a point where I was owed like 200K, and there was no discrepancies. All the work was done, and I was like, yeah, this is not it, eh? So, I had to said like, no more. There's got to be a better way.
That was the inflection point for you.
Yeah, I had to go a different direction. I knew it wasn't working. But then I spoke to like friends and family. They all said, "Oh no, that's the game. That's the builder game.
That's the game.
That's it. That's it." And I go, "Can't be." And then I got cold called by like a marketing company to do a program, actually, not even to do my marketing, just to do like an online course, and they all specialize in the trades. I was like, oh, whatever. Didn't think much of it. And then I ended up jumping on it, and I was like, because I was curious and skeptical at the same time, which is very normal for any program. But I was like, fuck it. Like, what, like, who cares? What harm can it do, right? Money comes and goes. So I did that program. It was great. Got a lot of value out of it. Learned that I was, working the wrong direction. I should be focusing on the B2C, because I was thinking that at the same time. I was like, but the mum and dads, I charge these rates. I get paid on the day. I get, they make me coffee. They make me cake.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
They don't really stuff you around.
They don't stuff me around. Yeah. Like, it's sweet. Like, if I could do this every day, that would be awesome.
And scale that.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the key word, right? Because everyone thinks it's lame, but okay, cool. But when you're doing,
everyone just thinks in trades that you go straight to B2B.
Yeah.
Because that's where the money is.
That's right.
Big sky rises, big
no money in sky rises, guys. I'll tell you that now. Yeah, run. Exactly.
Go straight to the mum and dad's property.
Yeah. Go to service work. Anything in this, even B2B service, you're still going to be better off than, unfortunately.
What's B2B service?
B2B service is your, beautiful question, is your strata, real estate, body corporate services, hospitality venues. Yeah. Things like that is B2B service work. So you're not doing construction, you're not doing like...
But it's still smaller scale.
You're just there to do servicing, right? So like some lights aren't working, sweet, you'll fix it. You're not going to be wiring out and putting LED strips and doing all the ins and outs, but you'll be replacing those items.
Yeah.
And the guy that replaces them, it's going to be a big eye opener. The guy that replaces those items makes more than the person installing them from scratch.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's a way higher margins in I think, I won't go too left field, but I think in those construction sites, a lot of the time it's the government that kind of regulates it so much it's very hard for the business owner to make money. So you got the unions and the EBA that, only allow you to work off 3 to 5% max margin.
What?
Yeah. And it's just like...
And that's why builders are like really stingy with how they pay people.
Well, 100%.
Yeah.
They have those riots and stuff.
Yeah. All the protests.
Riots,
all the protests. When they get paid phenomenally for employees, they get paid very, very well. The employers don't. That's the reality. And they might say like the project's 20 million, but they've gone backwards 1. Not good, right? So, yeah.
So more money, more problems then.
Yeah, in that regard,
20 million down to -1.
-1 because the margins are just not there, and you got to kind of think if you're in business, you're storing working capital. You've got to have 3 to 6 months supply of like expenses in your business, and if you're not getting at least a 20% return on that, then what's the point? You may as well put your money into real estate or shares or something that will just sit there, no staff, no nothing, and that will, increase, which, is a lot slower, but not as fun as... Nothing returns like business as well. If you guys have got a young following that are thinking, oh, should I buy a house first or go into business? Well, actually, I'll put that on you, not your podcast. What do you guys think? What comes first, house or business?
Business, 100%.
This is fantastic. That's a beautiful answer. Yeah. If you're business driven, business should come first, 100%.
Like the goal of a house is there.
Yeah.
But the business is the crux of it.
100%.
Otherwise, without the business, there
Because
is
you
no
can make
house.
a lot more money from a business in a way.
That's what I say to people. Like, okay, so if you buy a house tomorrow, will that pay you 10 grand a week?
Nope.
Business will, like, if you have a good business, pay you even more. You're
But
right.
it depends where you live.
Yeah. Oh, that's that's it. So it's subjective, but as a general rule, the business will return.
Yeah.
If it's
For a lot
profitably.
lower cost as well.
Exactly.
You don't have to fork out 10 million to buy a property that will give you 10K.
That's
a
right.
week.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But it also does take a long time to build a business that starts making you that amount of money too.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Here we go. The great debate. What's a period of time that you think a business should be?
Well, this is what I say to
running?
everyone. It doesn't take time to grow a business. It takes 3 things. I used to say 2 things, but that was corrected by one of my American members.
Yeah.
I used to say it takes know-how and capital. And one of my American members for Sparky Sales Systems goes, and balls. You know what I mean?
And balls.
And I go, all right. So it takes know-how, capital, and balls to grow a business. And it doesn't actually take as much time as people think. If you've got the right systems, of course it will take time if you're saving capital. Like that's why I say capital, I mean money, because you need to spend money to make money. That is really, really true.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, if you've got the know-how, so if you invest in the right training, the right coaching, the right programs, if you allocate
right methods,
that's right. You can, like we've got guys that have joined our program within 3 weeks and they're 23 years old, 24, some of them. And within 3 weeks, they're hitting 15K a week in revenue from zero.
Wow.
And that's not...
That's a big change.
That is a big change. It's because they're hungry. I think this new generation now as well, the guys coming up, they're very much, they're more entrepreneurial.
They've got the balls.
They've got the balls to do it, right?
Yeah.
They've got the balls. And that's what it is. Like everyone can talk, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
It's following through with it.
Do it, do it then.
Do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing. Do the thing.
Is that what you're teaching within your course? Is like mental motivation, pushing people to that next level?
But yeah, showing exactly. So this is the pricing structure, lead gen, sales.
Yep.
Once you have those 3 and you're doing upwards of say 40K a month with one truck, then you can look at getting more, because too many guys grow broke because they charge that $120 an hour and whatever, because their mates are charging that, or their mate's not getting work at 120. They go, well, I'm going to charge 100 then, and thinking that's going to make a difference. And then one guy will be like, oh, I'm getting a bit cheeky, I'm going to charge 140. And it's like, bro, it's not a needle mover.
I'm getting a bit cheeky today.
I'm going to up my rate by $20 an hour, and that's not going to do anything. So what we do is, once we're very big on a particular business model in the service sector for electricians, and we allow them to show them exactly the right way to do their marketing, the right way to do their pricing systems, the right way to actually grow their business and have everything in place. That's what we do.
Okay. And with the marketing side of things, is it something that you get them to do through socials, or is it more call contact?
Everything. So all of the above. So we've got both online and offline strategies. And the reason for that is we want it to be a recession-proof business. So you can't be just reliant on one source of, say, meta ads or something like that. So you want a combination of online and offline. And marketing done properly is a cost-neutral service at the end of the day. So, if you put $1,000 in, get $10,000 back, it's a good deal. If you put, you know what I mean? And so forth. And some marketing strategies... you're
going to lose some money here sometimes, but... You got to make sure that in the long run you're profiting.
100%. You got to consistently track it all and double down on what works, and do less of what isn't. Right. It all comes back to data at the end of the day. But like with us, especially when it comes to Sparkies, we know exactly what pumps straight away.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
you do?
And you can say pull the trigger on it and be like, let's go double down on it. And it is the only thing that is subjective is some areas can perform better. You know what I mean? For instance, like in Google, you know what I mean? Sydney and Melbourne will be at a higher cost versus if you're in Brisbane. Brisbane, the cost per lead is
a lot
lower, correct.
But there's also less people. So that's something you have to factor in.
There is, but they also don't have the Sydney mindset, so you can capitalize on that, right? So, if anyone wants to go to Brizzy and open a company, you're going to crush.
Happy days. But you still have to pay GST. So
you got to pay GST. That's right. That's right. And
you're still inside the borders.
You're still inside the border. So look, the tax situation in Australia sucks. I'll get you down into it, but it sucks. It's
We were speaking about before. It's
Yeah.
just the tax is just not nice.
it's
It's
not,
Dubai time.
It's the
It is, yeah. It's Dubai time.
Go to Dubai.
You got to spend 180 days a year there, though. Yeah, and I don't know. Dubai's probably not my scene. I'll probably go somewhere else. But you know,
Where would you go?
good question. I'd probably go Europe. I think would be good, or America. I think America's got a lot fairer taxes depending on state.
They've got better taxes than here.
Way better, yeah. And then I know someone of your listeners gonna be, oh, but then no Medicare, and it's like, bro, but we're paying it for like indirectly everywhere else. Like, look at our housing compared to their housing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
When did you realize that being a Sparky wasn't enough for you?
Oh, good question. Actually, I fell into it by fluke. But yeah, and I can answer it two ways. So being enough for me to add another business, but I was always going to go down. I was never going to just be a Sparky. I was always wanted to be a business owner.
Okay.
Right?
So you always had that
The moment
mentality.
you finished.
Yeah. The Sparky thing didn't matter to me at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I suck on the tools.
It was just something to do.
It was something to do. And, you know, especially being, you know, Greek background.
But you're a Sparky and you're bad on the tools.
Yeah. I'm not great on the tools. I'm better at business.
Okay.
Full. My team is way better. They don't want me to be on site. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I come on site, I just
Spyro, go offside.
go on site, leave. Like, I just talk
Go get us
rubbish,
coffee,
and then
come back.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I do. I do the coffee run sometimes,
Yeah.
but I'll probably be on site maybe this year, not even for 1 hour. Like all
wow.
up. Yeah, I don't go on site at all. Like it's a turnkey operation, but like. And my team don't want me on site. You know what I mean? Because they're professionals. They know what they're doing. They've got their systems.
So they're better than you.
Way better on the tools. They're way better, and I've got no issue saying that. Yeah, that's what you employ people that are smarter and better than you, so you can delegate
Yes.
jobs out.
And that's how you grow the business in a way.
That's how you grow the
You
business.
start putting all your jobs aside. Someone else.
Exactly. And to answer the question, like, yeah, the Sparky thing never bothered me. I just always wanted to be in business. Didn't matter if it was electrical or something else, and always looking to even, you know, from the electrical business, leverage into maybe other trades. Like you could leverage into aircon or plumbing or into other service trades. But if anyone's getting that idea, you need to be at 2 million first as a turnkey operation, and then, you know,
Then you can start doing
then you
stuff
can start
like
doing other stuff. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll be putting out too many fires in different things and different
Yeah.
trades. So you definitely want one industry to be turnkey, and then you can leverage. Yeah.
that. Nice. And when you first became a Sparky and everything, and you just started your business, so you just finished your course,
Yep.
you're a Sparky, you started the Sparky business working for builders. When you became one, obviously there was a stage where you were doing everything.
Yep.
You were doing the Sparky jobs, you're doing everything. You didn't really have anyone working for you or any extra trucks.
Yep.
What got you to the point where you're like, okay, now I can start giving these jobs away? So you learned all these skills and you're like, okay, now I'm fine to just give it off to other people.
Yeah, it was probably the wrong way. It was the way I did it was we're really busy. I'll just hire someone.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I did. And I actually still have him today, 8 years later. He's been in the company still.
Wow.
Yeah. So solid. So he was one of my first employee. We should shout out Tommy, Tommy Slav. He was my first employee, and then from there we started doing. Then added another truck. And then added another one, then added another truck, and then found out we're getting more callbacks. And I was like, what's going on? And that's when the systems came in. It's just like, well, you know, you can't trust staff's know-how. You got to trust in systems because you got to expect. I think too many people are wishful thinking, saying I can't find good staff.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, they haven't trained their staff. They haven't put systems in place. And that's why they've got shit companies. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a harsh way to put it, but it's
It's
true.
the truth.
It's
It's
the
the
truth.
truth. It's the truth. People want to work. People want to do the right thing. But at the end of the day, like, and a lot of the people can't afford good staff as well because they don't charge enough. So
I think that's very good that you're just putting the truth out there. Not a lot of people, they fluff it up.
no,
They're
straight to the point.
Yeah, good. But that's what people need to hear, though. And especially with, like, on a podcast like this, it's just tell them what people need to know.
Yeah.
Does your business only operate with Sparkies, or is it a bit broader?
Sparky Sales Systems?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sparky Sales, we've niched down only for Sparkies, and I'll tell you why. So there's a lot of great, and if anyone wants to shoot me a DM, you can, you probably put tagline, but Sparky Sales Systems on Instagram and Facebook and socials and whatnot. But there's a lot of good programs already for plumbers, and plumbers already have a very good community of doing best practice groups and stuff like that. But there wasn't any for electrical. So I was like, I'll make and I network with a lot of high net worth sort of plumbers as well, just behind the scenes. But I don't want to coach or train them. I've been requested to, yes, because you know, a lot of people, you know, see the content, they like it, and they go, can you coach my
Yeah,
and
I'm sure
definitely
all
could.
trades do, right?
Yeah, they do, and I definitely could, but we're just really
You've niched it down
just to help Sparkies. The future, who knows? But for now,
Does
we're
that
having
mean
really
you
fun.
only care about Sparkies then?
No, that's not. No,
The plumbers.
I'm actually
Fuck the other trades.
No, I care about all trades and all people.
Yeah.
But we really want to make because I'm in the electrical industry as well right now with my electrical business.
Yeah. Makes more sense.
I just really want to tap into helping them because they're struggling a lot more because I've got mates that are coaches for plumbers that I'd rather, you know, and like I said, you send me a DM and I'll, depending on sort of where they're at, there'll be maybe this person or this person. There's different levels to this, right? There's coaches out
Well,
there.
you're honing in on your craft in a way.
Correct.
You become an expert at training Sparkies.
Yeah.
You don't want to be an expert tradesman, salesman.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Well, we if you want to sell a switchboard, we train you how to sell a switchboard.
Yeah,
but a burst pipe or something, there's
You
another
can't
dude.
sell that. It's
There's another dude for that, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course.
Go to a plumber sales rep.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. There's obviously there's levels to it as well. Like I said, like there's people that, you know, if they have companies that are doing, say, under 1 mil, there's a program for you. There's a program for you doing under 2, 3, 5, and over 10. Like there's different people, right? Different mentors at different levels. So that's the cool thing. So we're very focused on helping Sparkies get to $1 million and beyond in the service sector. So yeah.
You had a mentor at one point. At what point in your Sparky career did you take on a mentor or want to be with a mentor?
Okay, and this is what I'm going to say. Okay, so I took it on about 2 years into my electrical career as a business owner. Within about 2 years, I took on a mentor, but it was by fluke. I got cold called. I wasn't looking for a mentor. I didn't even know what mentorship was. I didn't even know what Tony Robbins was at that point. You know what I mean? There's a lot of...
You didn't know Tony Robbins?
I didn't know Tony Robbins at that point. No.
Dark.
Yeah. Now, guys, there's a lot of information, and that's why it's one of my favorite, you know, quotes is kill or be killed. Like in this era...
Kill or be killed.
That's it.
I like that one.
2025, guys, there is so much information out there, and the smart people are actually going to implement, and you're going to be left behind if you don't level up. So I got cold called, and like I said, I was just skeptical, curious at the same time. So I was like, I gave him a go. Then I got opened up into the whole mentorship space, and and obviously it might sound a little bit biased, but I would encourage people, if they've got a mentor, if they see someone online, definitely get the help, because you know none of us is smarter than all of us, and group training is awesome in that regard as well. So that's when I did it, but I still commit to a couple
2
programs
a year.
one to 2 programs a year, and seminars and stuff. I love it. I love all of it. The energy, you know, networking with people that are doing great things, and it's hard because if you got mates that you went to school with, hanging around the pub. Not saying not to go to the pub, guys, but it's hard. It's hard to talk to someone if they're talking about
different networking.
Yeah, they might be talking about the Chelsea game, but you're talking about how can I build to, you know, 5
million a month
per month. Yeah, exactly right. You know what I mean? So
Did you say 5 mil a month?
I just said 5 mil. If you want to do 5 mil a month, great. Go.
There's levels.
There's level, you know what I mean? But like that's what I mean. And you don't see it being possible if you're surrounded by people that aren't into that space.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no hate, no nothing. It's just it's a different space, right? So it's very important if you can't see that, because a lot of people say, oh, but this doesn't work, that doesn't work. It's like, it's because you're talking to the wrong people.
Yes.
You know? So yeah. Is there a quote like your network is your net worth, something like that?
It actually is, yeah.
It is true, yeah.
I feel like as business owners, there's this thing, and there's this big quote that Chris Williamson always says, that you go through this period of a lonely chapter. And it's a period of time where you're essentially leveling yourself up that much that you start leaving behind your previous environment, or leaving behind a lot of people that you had in your past that were like your 5 best friends or family or whatever that might be, because you're elevating that much that you're kind of, you don't feel like you're connected to them as much anymore. Do you feel like you went through that?
Oh, 100%. And I probably would have stayed in that sort of cycle as well if I didn't have help as well, you know, and it does, you do. And then also when I see you start, you know, doing better numbers and start having success, you probably find there's a lot of people that don't like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it just goes to it. You know, the tall poppy syndrome in Australia is real, unfortunately. So yeah, that's why you just put yourself with winners, and you can have some really good deep conversations with, and that's, I think you guys were telling me about, like, you know, even just business and tax stuff off camera before. And the reason why I'm so like, you know, I wouldn't say knowledgeable, but I can definitely have
because you surround yourself
yeah,
with like do that all the time.
A lot of people have hit those thresholds, and when they hit those thresholds, then it's just like
They're passing on that information.
No, much like,
to
what do
their-
we do here? Or speak to this guy. He helped me with that. It was, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I mean? Otherwise, yeah.
You are your network.
Yeah. I'm very big on that. Networking with the right people, speak to the right individuals, and not listening to the pub chat for advice. You know, listen to people that have done it before and are still doing it.
Do you feel like you have a sixth sense when it comes to a successful business?
A sixth sense? What do you mean by like a feeling or like
like when you speak to someone or you have an interview with them?
Yeah, energy is important.
Yeah.
I think energy is important. Probably got too much, but it is what it is. You know, like there's different people, different mindsets. You've probably seen disc and stuff as well.
Disc profiles.
Just disc profiling. Yeah, and you start seeing that like, you know, a lot of the, you know, better people at sales are naturally D&I type people, right? So yeah, that is pretty important.
Do you take people through a disc profile when you speak to them?
I do. I'm a disc coach. So
oh really?
Yeah. So I train.
What does that involve?
Yeah. So I train my electricians as a part of the program to be disc sales trained.
Wow.
Yeah. So if they go into Mrs. Jones's house,
Yeah.
building that rapport, they know what to pitch to the customer, right? Because say for those that know disc, like, let's say it's a switchboard. Everyone knows what switchboard. I hope everyone knows what switchboard is. Like if you're trying to pitch an upgrade to a D,
one of these.
Yeah, that's it. You know, if you're trying to pitch like a safety switch or something like that to a D type, and you're trying to pitch safety and compliance, well, a D type customer, perfect, won't care, but a C will.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important for electricians and all trades and all people in business for that matter to be disc sales trained and disc trained.
To understand it.
For people that don't know what a disc profile is, do you mind explaining what disc is?
Profile. So guys, there's how many people in the world? It's about 8.1 billion people in the world. There's only 4 main disc profiles. So there's DISC. They're all acronyms. You know, and it just shows like, you know, there are people that are more open, you know, and open to having a chat, and you can find out what people are triggered by, you know, and you can. Because what the whole point of disc is not to treat people how you like to be treated, but to treat people like how they want to be treated.
So dominant, influential, steady, and cautious.
Correct.
They're the 4 types of personality traits. Correct. So that's what the acronym is, It stands for disc, Yeah, and we can go down that whole rabbit hole, but it is good, and it's very important to see the differences between them. I feel like it's very important.
Very important.
Can you pick it straight away?
Can I pick it straight away?
Yeah.
From having conversations? Yeah, I'm pretty good. And it's the big thing is everyone's got one
that's slightly higher than the others.
Correct. Everyone's got one that's slightly higher. So me, I'm a high I, high D.
Okay.
Right? High I, high D. So but I think we'll confuse the listeners too much if we go into disc.
100%.
If I start going, that's what I am.
But it's an important skill that you would say every business owner needs in a way.
I think so. You don't have to be a guru at it, but you have a basic understanding so you can not waste your pitch and also for your
understand
employees.
yourself as well.
100%. And also your employees. And you can find out why some might not get on with each other because, you know, they're different, you know.
One's a high D, one's a high C. And
that's right.
Don't put them in the room.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
What's been one of the biggest transformations you've seen with some of your clients?
That's easy. So we've got guys that, a beautiful thing I heard the other day is I had a phone call, I won't mention his name, but he calls me up and he goes, mate, I actually have a future in this industry now because of you.
Oh, wow.
And I thought that was just
cute.
I thought that was amazing. Like, like he would, so many people are ready to throw in the towel. And he goes, I can see a clear future. I'm actually making money now.
Is that more of the younger tradies?
All.
Okay.
We've got guys in their 60s. Predominantly we've got guys, I think most guys are in their probably 30s to 40, late 20s to early 40s, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because we
more
do
disposable income at that age. Yeah.
Not even. It's just I think just from socials because we predominantly market on socials and most people that are on socials are younger. But we have people that jump on from referrals as well. We've got a lot of our members sharing it, but we've got people that hit. I mentioned before $40,000 per truck is the minimum we want you hitting. We've got guys hitting upwards of 70,000 in just general electrical per month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge.
Per truck. Per month.
Yeah, per month. So just because I say the minimum is 40, it doesn't mean that's the maximum.
Yeah.
We've got guys hitting upwards of 70. We've got guys, doing up in excess of say 300K a month in just sales in
That's
residential
huge.
B2C. Yeah. So this is the thing.
And that's your customers as well, like your clients in the
clients.
Sparky Sales System, right?
Yeah. So that's my clients. They're my members. Yeah, our members in Sparky Sales. And the beautiful thing is the people that are most skeptical are the ones that are raving fans after. You know what I mean? And I just love it. You know what I mean? And that's why we're just so
You'd
thankful.
probably find that really funny.
I do.
They start making money from your course, and you're like, you were skeptical at the start.
Yeah. And they say that as well. They say that. Like they will say that. Like, man, I don't know what was one of myself. And
Why didn't I pull the trigger sooner?
Yeah, well, we've got a 9% onboarding rate, and the reason for
How
that
much?
90%, and the reason
Wow.
for that is they've seen the
Is
testimonials.
that post sales?
Yeah,
Like they bought the
onboarding.
course?
Yeah, onboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Members getting on board, and the reason why we've got a 9% onboarding rate is because of our members. Our members are actually helping us recruit more members because they're getting awesome results, and they want their mates to get awesome results.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So they
There we
refer.
go.
They refer. So word of mouth, and this is what I say about word of mouth. Word of mouth is the icing on the cake, but it's not the whole cake.
Yes.
So it's very important to we
It's just another lead gen source.
it really is. It really is. But it's a blessing and it's beautiful. And I thank the members for it. But yeah, they do recommend us all the time to their friends and stuff and their mates in the industry because
Well, they want their friends to get the same results they're getting.
they do, and it's a catch-22 as well. Levels up the whole industry. So if everyone's charging similar and leveling up, then the B2B space will be even better than it is now. Because in B2C, it really does come down to your marketing and sales skills to be able to, because there's no middleman or anything like that. That's why I'm a big fan of it. Whereas in B2B, there's middleman, there's a lot of competition, there's tenders and things like that. So we've got to educate everyone so all ships rise.
Yeah.
What's your lifestyle look like? I'm just imagining like you're full busy, like, but what does it look like for you? Like, are you a very holistic guy? Do you go for walks? Like, what is
I do like to go for walks. I train 4 days a week.
Yep.
I got back into training, which is awesome. I do that in the morning. So I wake up 6 a.m. at the gym from 6 to 7, and then go shower, log on. I've got 2 screens. One for 90% of my focus is on Sparky Sales Systems. So that's where I allocate the majority of my time. So mentoring and coaching electricians.
Oh, you're coaching as well still?
Yeah. I'm coaching. I'm coaching. Yeah, that's my business. That's essentially what the main
That's your bread
business
and
is.
butter.
So it's an online portal with coaching, group coaching as well.
Oh, group coaching as
Group
in
coaching.
like a channel? Like
Yes,
where
yeah.
everyone can interact with you and stuff like that?
We've got both. So we've got a so it's not like a
Community.
Slack channel, but we've got a Facebook community. We've got a online portal. The online portal has all our training on there, as well as weekly Zoom calls. And then we do one-on-ones upon request as well. But because a few people, mainly the one-on-ones is for people that might be a little bit more shy, and that's cool. And we want to help them out as well. Yeah. So, but the group, I love the group coaching because it's networking. We go into breakout rooms and it's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
I love it. Yeah, it's network. It's everything. Like it's clear strategy, clear game plans, and things like that. But yeah, I spend 90% of my time on Sparky Sales Systems, 10% on Olympic. Olympic runs itself. It's a turnkey operation, so I just check the numbers now, making sure that
CFO style.
Yeah, what's that? Sorry, CFO style. Yeah, essentially CFO style. And make sure the boys are happy. Culture is very important. Like we're gonna go hit the city. I think next just after the Easter weekend. It's good company outings, good time. That's kind of what I do. I live pretty simply. I used to be very big on BMX, skating, surfing, and stuff like that. I might bring up the surfboard back out. Might bring it back out, but I don't know. I'm also scared of sharks.
Double-edged sword, that one.
You mentioned that you just got back into training.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when you're growing a business, do you feel like you don't have that time or energy to train or to exercise?
You have to make that time. If you don't make that time, you won't do it. You know what I mean? And nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Nothing changes if nothing changes. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So look, you gotta. I think routine's very important.
Yeah.
So what I like to do, and it could be small things. Like I'm very big on if I'm gonna go to the gym in the morning, I've got to have my outfit for the gym.
Prepared the night before.
Yeah, bang on, ready.
Yeah.
Ready.
And that's routine. That's a habit.
Yeah, because if I don't have that ready and I've got to iron stuff, I'm not going to the gym. It's not going to happen. And it's something so small. But be prepared. You know what I mean? So that's the little stuff that I sort of do. But no, I've got quite a bit of time. Like everyone can. That's the thing. A lot of people are in their business so much and they don't zoom out ever, and they're in the thick of it all, and they've got no time and they're drained. But you can call me anytime and I can have a coffee at Bondi whenever you want. You know what I mean? Like straight out.
Yeah.
Like I work.
And lucky you're running 2 successful businesses.
Yeah. Like it doesn't need to be like your business. You don't want to be a slave to your business. Your business needs to, reward
Work around you.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's your business has to work for you, and you don't want to be a slave to your business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
What are some habits that you would suggest to a tradie currently, Sparky? That needs to happen.
Pick out your clothes.
Pick out your clothes.
Pick out your clothes. Yeah, look, I think
Hit the gym.
Hit the gym. I think hit the gym is important. I think also getting it sounds biased, I know from me, but getting mentorship is very important. Having that routine, understanding what your R&T is, your right next thing in your business, because you could be doing the same thing every day. And that's why those group coaching calls are so important, because we have like a traffic light system. Like, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? And what I always say in it on pretty much every call is, you might have 10 reds right now, but something is always a little bit more red and needs a bit more urgency to be looked at. So how about you pick 2 to 3 things in the next 6 weeks to implement? So we like to work off 6-week intervals, so we can stay on task and don't overdo it. Like if you try to say you're going to do all these 50 things, it's not going to get done. 2 to 3 every 6 weeks, move in the right direction.
Can't overwhelm yourself.
What's that, sorry?
You can't overwhelm yourself.
You can't. No. You cannot overwhelm yourself, correct.
So you're saying 2 to 3 big things.
Yeah.
So you're looking at your business in a snapshot. Mm-hmm. You've got 10,000 things going wrong at that current time. You just pick the biggest 2 to 3. You only focus on those and you don't care about the other ones.
Yeah, well, you can split it into, like, all business at the end of the day is attract, convert, deliver, scale.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, that's the principle of it, right? And to grow a business, there's 3 main things to do: is increase leads, increase sale price or average ticket, and increase your return customer rate. Like, people overcomplicate it, but that's kind of what you're going for. And when you break it down into there, and we've already done the breakdown, so we have that clear, well, these are your lead gen. Have you got this? Have you got this? Have you got this? And it's like a checklist. Yeah. And when you got that checklist, like, if your competitors don't have that checklist, then you're going to be running amok around them, because they're driving blind at the moment. So that's why they're so
focusing on the wrong things.
Exactly right.
And do you feel like you're steering the ship in the right direction for people?
That's gonna sound super biased. Yeah, we know so from the members. Yeah, we know so. Yeah.
What's some feedback that you've gotten? Like good feedback that you've gotten?
There's been quite a few, but I think having more time back, having more money, actually having money for their taxes and understanding their numbers, because I think that's the big thing. Everyone says, I need more leads. It's not the leads that's the issue. It's they don't have, like, it's what I say.
Understand the money.
That's the thing. And the way I look at leads is, like, I can't sing. So if I plug my voice into a microphone, more people and amplify it, more people are going to hear me, but it doesn't mean I'm,
They're going to come to you.
That's right. I'm still have a shit voice at the end of the day. It's the same with business. Like, if you don't have that back end done, you can pay money on ads. More people are going to see you and more people are going to reach out. But if you don't have that back end, you're not going to make any money, right? You still got to be very blunt. You still got a shit business at the end of the day. like that's what it is. Like, let's be real. Like, it's very easy to change. And the worse your business is, the better I can help you. That's the thing. Like, if someone's got a really good,
the best
if someone's got a really good business, it's like, oh, you're doing everything. But that's never happened.
For sure.
So you reckon people come to you with already pretty good businesses?
No, everyone thinks they've got a good business.
Then you look at it and you're like, bro, that's shit.
It's a numbers game at the end of the day. It's very simple. It's like, well, are you hitting these numbers that we're saying? Are you hitting 500K a year per truck? If you're not, well, there's work to do.
What are you doing?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's like, and the worst, and we've got guys that are coming with us from zero. We've got guys starting with us that are full-time employed. They've got an ABN. They've told their boss they're looking to make that exit. And they're so driven that they're signing up before they've even out on their own completely. And that's the smart thing to do. have it going, go into it. And then when your side hustle obviously replaces your main hustle, and then that's the time to sort of
Pull the trigger
and go all in. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't encourage dipping your toes in the water. I'm very big on just go all in.
Dive in.
Dive in straight. That's what I did with Sparky Sales.
Well, that's what you did.
Yeah, with both businesses.
As soon as you were qualified, you dived in.
Yeah, I'm very all or nothing.
That all or nothing approach has been something that you've always had?
It has, but I think you're born with that, with the entrepreneurial sort of mindset. And entrepreneurial mindset, you can be trained it, yes. Some people, it's like sales. Like some people are just
born salesmen.
better at sales. Normally, like I said, high I, high D type personalities are normally better. Does that mean if you're a C or an S, you can't be good at sales? No. Like I've seen killers that are like my main guy in my electrical business. He's an S. He's an S.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's an S, and he's a killer. Like he's really good. Very high conversion rates. Very good. Everyone loves him. And
there you go.
He's an S, right? So the other one's an I. But
I would say eyes are pretty good.
Eyes are,
but then they don't stop talking.
That's the problem. That's the problem, especially if it's
like
by
cut
themselves.
that time down, buddy.
That's right. That's right. And if you talk too much, you talk your way out of the
sale.
The sale,
Yeah.
correct. So
I've seen that happen many times.
yeah, definitely. But I think, with that entrepreneurial mindset, I was all in. But then there's a good book if your listeners want to listen to called The Road Less Stupid. And if you guys have probably heard of Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the Rich Dad, that's a fictional story, but the Rich Dad from that book is based off Keith Cunningham. And he's this
really?
Okay.
Texan guy. He's got a book called
He's Texan.
yeah, he's from Texas. Not Robert, but the Keith Cunningham is.
Yeah, of course.
From memory. Yeah. It's from Robert, I think Japanese background, but from Hawaii from memory.
Yeah.
And Keith Cunningham's got a book called The Road Less Stupid, because everyone's like high risk, high reward. And he's like, that's stupid. Take the road less stupid, low risk, high reward. And that's kind of.
Yeah, but how do you do that?
There is ways.
There's ways to create low risk, high reward.
100%. 100%. Everyone's like high risk, high reward. And that's how you pay the dumb tax. And by the dumb tax, I mean.
The dumb tax.
Yeah, you losing money. That's the dumb tax, losing money. So it's very important. And read the book. I think Audible, whatever I'm an audio. I think to answer your question even
I was
before.
going to ask, how do you watch it? Do you watch it?
Nah, so my favorite thing to do, which sounds so weird, Audible, beach, tan, headphones in, that's it. Best.
Okay.
Camp Cove. Yeah.
Camp Cove.
Camp Cove. Yeah, that's
good spot.
Good spot. So that's my ideal Saturday or Sunday. Yeah. Would be go down to Camp Cove.
Listening to books rather than reading.
Yeah, much rather. Yeah. I don't read. Yeah, I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Oh, you do.
You find
what
a lot
about
of value?
podcasts?
Yeah, podcasts and audiobooks, all of them. Yeah, both.
Yeah.
What's been a book that's impacted you tenfold?
Tenfold. Yeah, definitely would be. Definitely would be The Road Less Stupid. That made me sell all my crypto.
Low risk, high reward.
Yeah. That's actually what made. And I sold it at a loss as well.
Oh, you sold it at a loss.
I sold it at a loss. Yeah,
but you didn't care because you were like, this is too high.
I sold it at
risk, too high
30,000
reward.
loss. But I put in 70 originally. But yeah, if it goes from 70 down to like 7,000 for like 4 years, and then goes up to 40. Yeah, I'm just like, take the road less stupid. I don't want it going back down to 7.
Yeah.
Now, if I did hold,
Pay the dumb tax.
Exactly. And for all the crypto bros, yes, if I did leave it in there, I would have probably 5x that dollars. But I don't care because
you took the road less stupid.
Yeah, I took the road less stupid.
You took that money out, put it into your business, and now
correct.
it's grown anyway.
Correct. Yeah. Exactly right.
And you probably make that same money in a month.
Exactly. Nothing returns more than your business at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So you got shares, crypto, real estate, all of that. That's just like store of wealth. You know what I mean? It's not the vehicle. I think the business is the vehicle to sort of create more wealth. But like some audiobooks, I think that have been awesome is, I'm trying to think now. I think Rich Dad Poor Dad's a classic. What
Good
else?
book.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like all entrepreneurs have read that book.
I think so. Think and Grow Rich is a classic as well.
That's up there as well.
Is that? Oh, here we go. We've got some here. Yeah. So I like Jordan B. Peterson. Big fan of his stuff. I'm trying to think. Probably after I listen to the podcast, I'm probably gonna be like, oh my god, I should have said this book. Should have said this book. But like, there is a lot. I can even check my phone.
But it really shows that education is very important to you.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Like I said, forever learning. But there is a lot of good books.
100%. And I feel like since you're taking over the Australian industry, the Australian Sparky industry? Where do you see it going in the next 5 years?
I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be forever growing. Like we're in Australia, New Zealand, and America now as well. So we've got members all across.
Yeah.
I think for everyone it's going to lift up the whole industry in all areas.
Yeah.
Globally, because people are going to be understanding their true cost of operation and not basing their numbers off feeling, but really on the hard reality of numbers. So the mission is to help as many Sparkies as possible, and I'm super passionate about it.
Worldwide as well.
Worldwide, yeah, because it doesn't. The reason why I'm so big on Sparkies as well, and not all trades, is because people all just assume that Sparkies are just the most cash trade.
They've got a bad rep.
They've got
Super bad rep.
and it's
a dangerous trade.
It's a dangerous trade, but it's further from the truth. Like there are so many Sparkies doing it tough, man. Like if you saw actually and I'm speaking to them, I'm seeing it. And I'm just like, man, it doesn't need to be that. And I'm just like,
It infuriates you. There's a lot of
does.
passion behind what you're saying.
100%. I'm just like, let me help you.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Let me out of
Like, oh, yeah. And because I was that dude as well, and I was pretty arrogant, and I was like, oh, no one, I know the most. And like, it's like if you look at like a U shape and, every customer of yours is saying you're too expensive and this and that, well, that's all
It's
you're
going
going
to
to know.
deflate you as well.
It's going to deflate you, and that's all you know. But it's a U. If you look at the other side, well, there's other companies that have companies that have customers that are happy to pay $300 an hour nonstop.
Yes.
Same way as Louis Vuitton, and you got to focus on those ones, and those ones are going to actually come back to you, whereas the cheap customers will not. And that is the big misconception that we have in all industries, that if we're cheap, people like I don't think I've ever looked at. It sounds really arrogant, but I've never looked at the price of a menu at a restaurant. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is.
You've created you've created that for yourself.
Yeah, it's just like
through hard work.
But it's like people are like, but the restaurant owner, a lot of them would be like, can I put it up an extra $2 or $3? And it's just like, bro, I would not even notice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that doesn't come from
And most
arrogance.
people won't notice as well.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But that's the thing. It's just like, you're okay, this is a good one. You're more concerned about your price increase than your customers are. That's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for new business owners that might be watching this podcast, they're listening to these things, they're thinking we should increase our prices. We're probably undercharging ourselves or undercharging our customers for the work that we're putting in. How would you go about teaching that? Because I feel like a lot of people get into the industry and they're like, oh, I need to price myself at a point where I feel like it's fair. They feel like they're going to make some money, but they don't know how they're going to get leads in a way. You know what I mean? And they don't want to like outcharge themselves, if that makes sense.
There's
Or
no such thing as outcharging.
or keep doing calls and
I
they get
get what you
rejected for their price.
I get what you mean. Yeah. So look, if you double your prices and lose, you've probably heard that. If you double your prices and lose half your customers, well, you're a lot better off, right? And you're not in the same position. You're actually a lot better off because you don't need to serve as many people at the end of the day. And it's the same money you'll be making, right?
Yeah.
So you got that, but you also got to educate them. Like if there is a price increase, and especially in a B2B setting, you've got to educate them. And
B2B?
If it's in a B2B setting, if B2C, you can swap it like that. You know what I mean? Like it's very easy. But in a B2B setting, you would need to educate them and understand, instead of saying dollar things, let's work off percentages. Like, hey, we work off 10%. Like you don't have to tell them if it's true or not. Like, you know what I mean? But like if it's a B2B, it's like, well, look, and it's about educating them and, steering away from the pain point and showing the value at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And that's what we do. And again, we've got scripts for that. But yeah, it's about educating your current clients and why you have a price increase. And your clients have to like you for you at the end of the day in your business. Not even for you, for your business. Because if they like you for you, then they're going to keep calling you, but you want them to keep calling your business. And I think that's a big thing to sort of delegate away. So the phones are not going to you. So
yes,
my customers that when I was on the tools know that they want my staff there, not me. They don't expect me there because I educated them on those boundaries. I said, You're not
a Sparky anymore.
I'm not coming to your house anymore, respectfully.
Yeah.
So I did that, exactly that question that you're asking. I've done that, and none of my customers expect me there. None.
Yeah.
None.
There we go.
Yeah.
You've taught people well.
That's the way to do it.
So new business owners should actually charge higher rates from the get-go then.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, I'll tell you why. I'm very big on this. You need to charge you got to charge for your future outgoings, not for your current. So if you're looking to build $1 million business, right, you need to charge like $1 million business from now. Because what happens is a lot of people go there and undercut the market and get all these cheap customers and like, ooh, I'm so good at business because I'm so cheap. But what happens is they build this database of just, you know, crappy customers, shit leads, shit customers, right? And then they go, oh, I'm so busy. Then they complain to their missus. Their missus is like, oh, why don't you just put someone on? It's like, all right, I'll put someone on. So they put someone on. Then they go, oh, I've put someone on, but now there's no money. You know what I mean?
Because they're paying this person.
Yeah, and that's because they haven't done their true math. Yeah. So if you charge like a solo operator, that's all you'll ever be, right? In order to get the factory, in order to get the, you know, the more trucks, the more guys, the more everything, it comes from your customers. You have to charge in that way. You have to charge it. It's a cash flow from your business that allows you to grow at the end of the day.
Be able to do things like get that factory, get that extra truck.
Even if you don't have that extra truck, even if you don't have admin, even if you don't have any of these overheads, you must charge for them now from a solo operator.
If you have those goals, you have to charge those goals now.
If you don't have those goals, you shouldn't be in business.
Yep.
You should be working for someone. Simple.
Working for someone or just by yourself?
Yeah, that's it. Contracting. That's right. There's a big difference between, because a lot of those guys will then start saying that the bigger guys are rip-offs and this and that. And it's just like, well, what business have you ran? Oh, I've been in business for 28 years. But just because you've got 20 years in business, it doesn't mean you've got 20 years of experience. You've been doing the same thing every day.
Yeah.
That's
rinse and repeat.
So
what would you call those people? Because I feel like there's a lot of traders that do that now.
Yeah.
And they call themselves business owners, but you obviously wouldn't. No, why is that?
No, because they don't have a company. So a company has to serve you.
Yeah.
If you can't leave your business and it can't run without you, then you don't have a company, you got a job. And it's the worst job in the world,
there
right?
We go.
Oh, the E-Myth. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, the E-Myth. That's from that E-Myth.
Yeah, that's the best book. That's the best book in the world. Yeah, the E-Myth. There you go. Yeah, E-Myth.
It came to you.
Yeah, that's it. E-Myth, best book. I think I listened to that like on repeat like 4 times. I was like, how does this guy know me more than me?
Yeah.
That's an impactful quote though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and Michael E. Gerber.
You don't own a business, you own a job.
You own a job, and it's the worst job in the world. It is because, like you said, you're doing the admin, you're doing the job, you're doing the accounts, you're doing the market, you're doing everything yourself.
Yeah,
and you're not even getting paid well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They're pulling out your hair, stressing like, oh shit, I've got to speak to Joe tomorrow about this job and that job. And
you still owe everyone money, but you don't get paid.
And it's like the valley of despair. If you guys have seen that, right? It's just.
You're just going in circles.
They're just going in circles, right? And unfortunately...
They can make some good money though, but they're always just running in circles.
What good money is, right? Like that's the thing. Relative, yeah, to what your goals are. And I think it's one of those things, it's like, you know, when you work for yourself, you do $5,000 a month, you're like, sweet, that's awesome. Then you do 10 grand, it's mad. And you do 15 and it's sweet, and 20 and 30. And it's like, as it keeps going, it's like, you get desensitized. It sounds bad, but you get desensitized. You do get desensitized to it. Yeah. And unfortunately, but that's just life, right? And there's... Yeah. And if anyone is listening in and is thinking like, you know, when they have this money goal, monthly salary, whatever, they'll be happy. Yeah. They won't. Yeah.
No, because you're always going to want more.
It's just a number in your bank. You can open up that CommBank app and it'll just be a number.
A little number that's sitting there.
There. Yeah. You got to put your money to work. For me, you got to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Not the destination.
Not the destination. That's it. Yeah.
I like that. What are some skills outside of the job, like outside of the tools, that will separate a successful tradie from a not so successful tradie?
I think discipline. Self-discipline is massive. I think that's what it is. If you don't have self-discipline, then nothing gets done. So I think that's the one thing that people lack, and they lack focus as well. So self-discipline and focus.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much tying together, right?
It does.
Yeah.
You said 2025 was going to be a hard year. This was like back at the start of the podcast. Something about 2025 being a year where it's either kill or be killed. What do you mean by that? Yeah,
beautiful. There's so much resource out there now. Being the village idiot, doing things for a case of beer, helping out, like that's, guys, you know.
Bartering.
Yeah, the bartering. Yeah, that's not.
I'll give you weight for a piece of rock.
That doesn't work. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. I would love to go back down to those days. Like, oh man.
That'd be fun.
Oh, it'd be awesome. Guys, real estate is too expensive. Inflation is real. The government hates you. At the end of the day,
I'll fix your lights for a piece of cake.
That's right. And it used to be like that, and you could do all right. Not anymore.
That's not the way the world is going.
No way. And the reason why I'm so passionate about it, I've probably said a couple things on that, is because I'm so passionate about people taking charge for themselves, because people are wishful thinking. And in Australia, we've got that she'll be right attitude. It doesn't
And
get
tall puppy syndrome.
Tall puppy syndrome. So it doesn't get you anywhere. Like that she'll be right attitude it's not going to fix itself. And like I said, nothing changes. So
That's why we're so small as a country too.
100%.
Yeah.
We're small because they don't encourage also business. They put a lot of restraints on small business, and I don't like the word small business because small business does big numbers. But the reason why I don't like, I say that they put a lot of constraints on small business is because like if you employ more people, you get payroll tax. 44%. I think there was an article out that was like 44% of a build cost of a construction of a house is tax and red tape from like getting approvals from council, from that. And inflation is a real thing. So every time you're losing your money as we speak, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm very passionate on, electricians need to price for profit. They need to grow and keep going from there.
There we go.
And all trades really, and every industry, they need to.
Yeah, but every business owner, you're saying.
Yeah, and to answer your question, in 2025, the reason why it's going to be so much tougher is because we have all these pressures. We've got high taxes, we've got high cost of living, we've got all of these things.
And that's been coming in the last few years.
Since they printed $300 billion over COVID, that's when it sort of really just shot up the inflation.
Yeah.
And things don't get cheaper, things get more expensive. So the reason why I said 2025 is not going to be difficult, is not a difficult year. It's a difficult year if you're unprepared for it.
Yes.
That's I think where I'm getting at.
And that's what you meant by the kill or
be killed.
Yeah.
If you're not getting the right training, if you're not if you don't
mentoring,
if you don't have the right systems,
upskilling, education,
that's it.
Reading books.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're going to be left behind, without a doubt.
And training 4 times a week as well.
Yeah, that's important. That's important. It's important. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's important for me. Like I'm definitely happier knowing I went to the gym today.
Yeah.
Even just for a month. And I like listening to podcasts and stuff at the gym as well.
You get to listen to yourself.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. I'll be listening to this at the gym.
Yeah. Do you rewatch your own podcast?
What's that, sorry?
Do you rewatch your own podcast?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do. I check them out.
That's an education thing as well.
Yeah. And it's just yourself going, I agree with that.
Good job, man.
Yeah, that's what it predominantly does. But I listen to a lot of podcasts like Patrick Bet-David, Stephen Bartlett.
Good.
Jordan B. Peterson.
Chris Williamson?
No, I don't listen to Chris Williamson. Probably should check it out. Yeah, check him out. Yeah. There's a lot, but yeah, I listen to a lot of those.
It's a pretty flooded space.
There's a lot, and that's the thing. You don't want to overdo it as well. So otherwise, again, it's a lot of information, but it means nothing unless you're doing something with it.
Yes.
You don't edit them yourselves?
I've got someone doing that. I've got someone do the whole thing. Yeah. So yeah, I've got someone doing all the clips and all that. Yeah, delegate. Like I said, I don't do anything.
Delegate.
Like I said, you can call me anytime. I'll go have a coffee at Bondi, or you know what I mean. Like
you've delegated everything.
You gotta
But that's not something that happened overnight.
No,
you built this up over time.
You buy back your freedom. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
And that's what the business is. You're just buying back more time.
Yeah, and you're outsourcing the lower, dollar productive activities to other people. And that's what it is. And that's what scaling is. It's a beautiful thing. And that's why I enjoy it. And especially when I started Sparky Sales Systems, it was at that real startup phase. And I was like, I'm going to do this. This is what the logo's going to look like. And yeah, it all came together. It's awesome. It's going great and it's a blessing. Yeah.
That's really good. I like that. And for someone watching this, what's a mindset shift that you would give them if they're wanting to become an owner of their own business one day?
Not having a fixed mindset is the biggest thing, because you got to be forever humble and forever growing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing and the one thing that everyone needs to have if they're going to go into business is a growth mindset. And that doesn't mean getting more trucks or whatever. It just means, growing doesn't have to mean more. It could be less overhead. It could be which allows you to make more. It could, because the game at the end of the day of business, it doesn't matter what business you're in, is to make money. That's to turn a profit. People are so, especially in Australia, so uncomfortable about talking about money. I don't. I'm so open about my finances. I'm like, I encourage everyone to enjoy making money because it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Again, in Australia, people are very uncomfortable.
It's just money handovers. Everyone's just doing money handovers all day.
everyone thinks, because if someone's doing well, you rip someone. It's not the case. It's not the case. You're allowed to make money. It's a good thing.
You're just producing more results for more people.
Exactly.
That's what it
Adding
is.
more value to more people. That's exactly right. Bang on. So I think having a growth mindset and forever learning, forever humble is the way to be. You know what I mean? Like, I would never say to someone, no, this guy doesn't know because he hasn't, he's got something like, I don't know anything about this space. So tell me about this space. You know what I mean? Tell me about that. So, and I'd be very, as well with that is for business owners, I would be very, very big on paying professionals to do a professional job. So don't ask, your mates at the pub for accounting advice. Ask proper accountants.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Ask the right people the right questions.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bang on.
I like that.
That's big. I've enjoyed speaking with you because it gives everyone, even whoever's listening, just a bit more of a deeper mindset change or philosophy on what they want to do with their business moving forward. Where can people find things about the Sparky Sales business or system and
Olympic
Electrical?
Yeah, Olympic is just easy. That's just my electrical business. The main one that most people know me for is Sparky Sales Systems. That's just on Instagram, Facebook, sparkiesalesystems.com. And yeah, we've got a podcast called The 7-Figure Sparky, which
7-Figure Sparky.
That's what we call it. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So we call it The 7-Figure Sparky podcast. And we interview our members actually on there. So our members actually share their experiences and the results that they're doing. And
oh, no way.
yeah,
You talk with them. That's
so
cool.
you talk to the
Members.
people in the Sparky Sales system.
Correct.
That's mad.
We put everything out there. Yeah, we put everything. We put the results out there. I've even got my staff on one of the podcasts. A couple of them. I've got a couple of them on there saying, sharing,
Like running it, or you're interviewing them?
interviewing them.
Cool.
To see me as a boss. So
That's mad.
We put everything. We show.
So it's pretty transparent. So
is.
if anyone was like skeptical, you can be like, go watch my
Everything's
podcast.
there.
Bro.
Everything's there.
Everything's there.
We share with all our members our numbers, where the phone, like even my electrical business, we show everything because that's the whole point. I want them to do
The same numbers as you.
the same numbers, if not
eventually.
greater. Like I train people that are doing larger numbers than me because they
Really?
don't have the system. Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
better than Olympic.
Higher numbers in Olympic. Yeah, but they
Wow.
don't have the systems in place.
So you've trained them to become better than you.
That's right. Because I'm focused on Sparky. That's my job. I have to give back and train them. So it depends on their risk threshold, right? So
Yes.
it depends what you want to do. If you want to go from
They're more focused on that.
On that.
Whereas now you're more focused on helping them
Perfect.
become better.
perfect, yeah. So I can see things that they can't, and we've allowed them to scale, to very, very good numbers.
And you're
So
okay with letting them beat you.
100%. That's my job.
That's a good
I want them to.
Yeah.
I want
This is
them.
him being open.
I want
He's
them.
open about it.
I want them to. I want them because I'm not that great. So
Did you give them a little reward for beating Olympic?
for being Olympic, they just
You got a medal, buddy.
That's it. I probably should.
Hey man, you
But-
just beat Olympic today.
That's
well done.
it. Yeah, but we've got a very great community because I show all the members exactly how much I'm spending on marketing, where I'm spending it, how many phone calls I'm getting, how much of that's turning into sales.
Creates trust.
I show every single person all of my numbers, and the reason for that is it's me giving back to the electrical industry and my
Community.
members,
Yeah.
right? Because the electrical industry has done very well to me.
And you need to get paid for that knowledge, that share of knowledge.
Yeah, what's the IP, right? Like I've spent over $100,000 on my own mentorship and continue
Yeah.
to. So it is.
So you should be getting some sort of return for that knowledge that you built.
It's value. It's value, right? It's IP. It allows them to scale a lot faster. And we've had not one person complain about the investment.
price.
Yeah, because again, we don't lock people in, so it just makes sense. You know what I mean? And we everyone that jumps on makes
That's
their
what
full,
they're paying for.
Well, they get their full investment back within the first week of sign up, so it's pretty good.
That's huge.
But that scares people as well. They're like, "Oh, how?" You know what I mean? Because even though it's true, if you say that, it actually it could probably do more worse than good because it's just like people just get even more skeptical. It's just like, but that's what we show people. We show our members. We show everyone. Like, this is what it is, and this is what your competitors are doing. So if you want to keep doing your 120 an hour thing, well, these guys here are doing 2.5K per day per truck. So
Yeah.
choice is yours at the end of the day.
You
Like
do.
John
Yeah.
Just start off like that. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
Bro, well, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it as well, boys. No, it was an awesome time, an awesome pod, and looking forward to doing another one in the future.
Beautiful
Sweet.
for sure. Thank
Nice.
you, bro.
Awesome, boys.
Cheers, man.
Nice. That was good.
Bro, I love that. That's gone.
Thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Evolve Podcast.
Brendan and I have loved having you throughout this whole podcast. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And if friends are interested, share it around.
Yeah, make sure you share and tag us on your Instagram posts, and I'll see you soon.
See you guys. Little boogie to finish.